All right, we are live. Um, this live stream is brought to you by insomnia. No, I'm just kidding. Well, couldn't sleep, so I'm going to do part two of build an app with me using Sea Lion and see if Augment, my vibe coder partner, is awake and ready to work and not silly. So let's see if we can do that this morning. It's about 3:40 a.m. on the Pacific side. So if anybody's up, let's vibe code. So I'm gonna go into the Sea Lion and let's give you an idea of what I'm trying to do. So yeah, let's use PowerPoint. Remove these boxes. All right. So I think you guys can see that. Let me just add the text box. So what I'm trying to do with my Sea Lion project is to have 3 different large language models as AI agents in separate boxes or separate native desktop windows, not web apps. So it's directly .exe file. So what I wanted to do is have ChatGPT in one, Claude in the other second box or third box, and then Gemini. So the goal is to have ChatGPT talk to either Claude or Gemini. Oh, I didn't spell that wrong, right? Claude talk to either ChatGPT or Gemini. Gemini talk to Claude and ChatGPT, or if possible, all three can talk together with me. So I'll have like playing house, probably me and 3 other virtual coworkers, if you put it that way, just interacting with each other. I have not seen anybody do this yet, but yeah, if anybody out there has been doing this, give me a shout out on my YouTube channel or LinkedIn and let me know how it went. So I'm using C Line, C++, and C. So that's the ultimate goal, and to have all these 3 windows as native desktop apps, not web apps. So going back in here, turn on vibe coding mode. So it actually went through. So Augment is alive and well, ready to work. So let's have him work. So I'm going to enhance the prompt. All right, so the enhanced prompt is analyze the entire code base located at this location. Provide a comprehensive list of code errors found. Please include syntax errors, runtime errors, so forth. So I'm going to copy this as far as my notes, because I can always go back and understand and task the AI agent in the future specifically for these errors. So I normally use sticky notes. Paste that on there, close that out, and then we'll let Augment work. I'm curious to see if it'll actually detect the proto files that I've actually did last night, or we'll see what happens. Hope it doesn't get confused. So I'm gonna go look at the README because I know it created one. All right, so I know it's kind of small, so let's do this. There you go. All right, so README says a sophisticated multi-process Qt6 application featuring 3 independent floating robot widgets, OpenAI, Claude, and Gemini, just as we broke it down on our PowerPoint. And they can communicate via local 0MQ message bus. Each widget runs a separate process with a shared common code, providing a robust and scalable AI agent communication system. So right now, I'm kind of skeptical on if this will work, but I have faith. So features are 3 independent robot widgets, 0MQ message bus, that's the phone lines between the 3. Cross-platform, it's compatible Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Modern Qt6 UI, which is a frameless draggable always on top widgets. There's different types of widgets that you can use. There's WX widgets, there's I'm GUI. Windows has their own specific UI widget as well. So right now it's told to give me a report of the current errors, and it's not told to do anything else outside that instruction. Architecture, OpenAI Robot, Process 1, Claude Robot, Process 2, Gemini Process 3, and the phone line is what we call 0MQ message bus. Go through TCP 5556, TCP 5557. The message flow is going to be a pub and sub for broadcasting messages, chat status, heartbeat. I'm curious what that heartbeat means. Request and rep for direct agent requests. JSON serialization to nlowman JSON. Qt timer based polling. Heartbeat system, 3-second intervals. Okay, so it's the time that message gets from robot 1 to robot 2, or robot 1 to robot 2 and 3. Interesting. It's going to take 9 seconds. We'll see. Qt6 or later. Prerequisites: CMake 3.25 or later. C++ 20 compatible compiler. 0MQ system tray system for desktop integration. So here's the instructions for building it, and then instructions for running it. Base operations, message types, and goes out in configuration. I did include the .env file, so you'll be able to type in your API key for all 3 models. Then here's the directory structure or product structure. So let's go back in here. Let's widen this side up. Okay, so going scrolling up to see what it actually found. Evidence-based accuracy, 95%, so 5% still is missing, and it hopefully did not make these errors up. So I'm going to verify it with the problem area or section down here. So missing, including in main.cpp, error type and compilation error, 0MQ, missing object. So let's start with the critical ones. So we'll go in here and let's inspect the code, see if we can dial it down to just this project file. Analyze. So what I'm trying to do is just to verify, not shaming, just to verify what the agent had provided me. So by inspecting the code or going in here in the problems error and finding out what actual errors are being looked at or tracked. Do that. Do project files. So off the cuff, I'm using StreamYard to live stream. Been trying to figure out how to turn on comments on LinkedIn. So maybe I'll ask AI to help me out with that. See how that goes. I know we're all dependent by AI. So let's do run inspection. So far it's detecting typos. Let's minimize that. All right. So comparing it, just the typos. So we'll see. We'll let that run. Okay, so this one looks promising. There's about 1 grammar area, 27 typos. Minimize these, so still typos. Try that. Kill this guy, so kill this guy. So let's do this. Let's go in here, minimize this, and let's do one at a time. So starting with the critical errors. So we'll highlight the section and ask it to take a look at the following and make corrections to solve the following and only this error. So I want to see if it'll actually do as it's instructed. So I'm just going to highlight the whole thing and copy it into a notepad. I can always go back to it later. Because the more I interact with the Vibecoder partner, the chat interface or chat messages pile up, and I won't have to scroll all the way up and waste some time just to find the right place I'm trying to find the text at. So let's see if it would actually only stay at that error and fix that error. So going back and notice that the main.m that CPP file is a simple Qt application. Should have told me that when it told me it's an excellent progress of building this app. Perfect. Now I can see issue now. The three main CPC main.cpp files in the agent directories. So go in here, look for agent directories. Just somewhere in the SRC. Last I saw it. So it's right here. All right, so done fixed it. So let's verify and ask it to log it because I don't see any log files on here. So I'm going to add a new directory and put logs. Copy the entire actual path and ask it to provide evidence of it correcting those files. Please provide evidence of the corrections and place the corrections directly in this directly in this folder. See, we'll do that. So it understands its task. So now it's going to go create the subfiles and logs in this main folder. It's actually doing it. So once that's done, we'll go into the main.cpp files for all three and see if there are any errors. So right now it's giving me an error saying this project does not belong to any project target. So we'll see if it actually found that error or is identifying that error. This is the downside of vibe coding. You spend majority of the times making sure each file and code is generated correctly. So you're trying to find a root cause to what's causing the errors. So this is majority of the vibe coding disadvantages. So it didn't call it out. I didn't see anything on the report. Here's Claude. So it says it's part of the folder. So I have the option to fix it. So let's go ahead and fix it instead of asking my partner here, which is not really dependable. So we'll see. Okay, so let's debug this. So we'll go here and then let's refactor this. No, I don't want to delete it. Maybe adjust the namespace. See what happens. Okay, so right click, debug. Go ahead and paste, copy and paste, and ask it, please fix this error. I tried to debug it. And I gotta change that Chinese language. Enable all, applying. Okay, oh no. All right, so let's restart this Sea Lion. All right, the growing pains of vibe coding. Right. All right, he is back. So I turned off the in the Chinese language, Korean language, and Japanese. No offense to those languages, but I don't speak that. I speak English, so hopefully when it does pop up as far as the run, it won't have that. And we wait. So one thing that you also gotta be aware of, that vibe coding has a lot of bloat, so you have to just double check your directory structure as it's helping you create the code. Let's not keep all, let's hold off for that. Okay, so it gave me why it failed. So missing requirements, Qt include paths, flags, library linking, mock compilation for Q object classes, dependencies. So it did fix that. So keep all. So let's go to Gemini. Same thing. All right, so now let's debug it. It's doing the same thing. So let's copy that and ask it to take the following and apply the fix to the remaining main.cpp files. All right, sorry about that. It's about 4 a.m. over here, Pacific side, and my family's all asleep, so I'm the only one awake, so I was wondering, heard a noise, so. That was quick. So let's go in here, go check OpenAI. No, you didn't. Let's try this section. And I don't want to make another one. Okay, so it's time to stop using G++ directly. Use the build system. Okay, gotcha. So let's try that. So use the build system. All right, so let's delete that. Let's try building it again. Let's do rebuild or recompile. Still doing it, buddy. Please help me fix this. I tried to build it as you said. I'm not frustrated. Makes me think this is part of like the CIA tactic where it can there's a technique where a CIA undercover agent can understand if the person who is typing is either sad or frustrated and so forth. So that makes me think, but just being that conspiracy theory guy, because I did not type hard or I did not press all caps on my request. Pretty awesome. It's actually correcting me when it created the code itself. Well, I'm not trying to compile. You are. Well, in reality, I am basically because you're just a machine. All right, so follow these exact steps. So let's not keep all, let's not use or click any of that, and let's follow its instructions. So press Command or Windows R, then enter Command Enter. I'm going to go into command line, command prompt. So we'll go into the admin. We'll just copy that whole thing, go back in here. It doesn't need that. Go in here. Copy this. Step 2 is, or step 3 is to check prerequisites first. All right, so checking CMake found. I have version 4.0.3. So it's right here. So there's the root cause. So let's copy this whole thing. Copy and paste. And since I found where the error was at, because it's right here, checking for Qt6, Qt6 not found in path. That's the only one that it found. Let's go back in here and I'm not gonna go to step number 4. I'm gonna stay at step number 3 and ask it to fix it for me. I can install, but I already installed Qt6 already on here. So it solved one error. So all right, but you get the idea. Spend majority of the times going through the directory and going through each file. So let's go back in here and paste this whole thing. And just ask it to fix the entire errors. Please take the following and fix all errors in the directory. So now that it's logging the errors, I can minimize that. Close this one out. So also just be aware that whenever it creates a file, it's gonna probably put it under or in this area towards the bottom, and just be aware of that because that's gonna create a lot of bloat in your code. Also, in part 1 of this session, I wanted to see what Ollama would give me as far as developing I'm building this app, but still didn't do it. It actually froze. So hopefully OpenAI fixes that issue. But let me try and ask a simple question. So let's hit new chat. Why is the sky blue? Okay, so simple questions. It's pretty fast. So let's ask another simple question. What is your favorite number between 1 and 50? I'd pick 27. It's a fun random looking number. It's also a multiple of 3. Appears in a lot of pop culture references and sits nicely in the middle of 1 to 50 range. Okay. Let's ask it. Science question. What is string theory? Yeah, you can tell I watch a lot of Ancient Aliens, Michio Kaku, Brian Keating, those guys. String theory is pretty awesome to learn. Also, it's very difficult to solve. Okay. So let's go back to ChatGPT and we'll see what it does give me as an output for that question. So what is string theory? And I'm going to compare the results of both a Llama one and the actual GPT one. GPT-5 interface, it says string theory is a theoretical physicist equivalent as a Swiss Army knife made entirely of vibrating subatomic noodles. And yes, these strings are thought to be the most fundamental building blocks of reality. Instead of tiny invisible points like in particle physics standard model, string theory says everything, electrons, quarks, photons, maybe even gravity, is actually minuscule loop or segment of energy oscillating in different patterns. The note each string plays, each vibrational mode dictates the particles' properties, mass, charge, and force interactions. So, okay, I get that. So it gives me the mathematical equation. And it gives me its accuracy. So 8% is what I'm looking for, because right now it's giving me 92% accuracy based on its evidence. And these are the references it actually got its answers from. So I'm curious to see that 8%, but I would have to dive, talking to ChatGPT, like ChatGPT, and you need to look at more, investigate more into string theory and how it works, just to fact check this output. So pretty interesting output. So not as detailed as the Llama one, at 120 billion parameters. As you can see, the tone, it's a lot different. Like I said, this doesn't have any customized instructions or jailbroke in that way. So it's just strictly giving me off of large language model standard language. So one thing about not having some sort of jailbreak, it doesn't provide the references on the bottom. Ooh. All right, so this live stream may be ended. My son woke up, so oh boy. All right, guys. So 40 minutes in, so I'll continue later. Gotta go back to daddy duties, so we will continue at a later time. Thank you guys for watching.